Okay, maybe it's a hypothetical question, and I will answer it anyways, because if I could say, well, I don't answer hypothetical questions. No, I'm not like that. Um, but I think the blockchain is all about, again, decentralization is very important. So the wisdom of the crowd always wins. And blockchains are really about decentralization, which means that not one entity can control anything. And because nobody will allow one entity, one country, one group of people to control one aspect of the blockchain. It's all about being equal. And right now they're playing ball. I mean, even if there are lots of miners in China, they're playing with the rules. They are mining, they are earning their rewards, and they are providing the infrastructure. So there would be a lot of backlash if anybody started to do things that are not correct. So there's a lot of balancing, a lot of forces that are balancing each other. It's like two people pointing a gun at each other, and nobody's going to pull the trigger because both will be dead, really. And think about that in like 6,000 people doing it to each other, and then the rest of the world is watching, and then there's more and more voices coming into the equation. So I really believe that this is really democracy and decentralization at its best. Okay, one more question. Two more? Okay.
Okay.
Yes. If you give me a quick question, I will give you back a quick answer.
I actually have more of a comment than a question.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to bounce off of this lady right here in corporate treasury. My name is Liz Reitich. I am certified as a treasury professional. My company is, they're a bunch of software and blockchain developers as well, but I'm more of a high-level business overview here. And one of the companies that we partner with is Ripple. And if you are at all familiar with Ripple, they're basically, they connect banks to transfer currency between each other. That includes FX as well. And what I've been seeing from my industry is that it's kind of trickling down from you have your technology companies up here, and then I see a lot of financial institutions getting involved. But what I haven't seen a lot of people getting, or companies getting involved, are the corporates. I think the corporates are going to rely more on the banks, and the same still applies here with, you don't want to manage 600 vendors. I don't think that's the way it's going to work. I think that's the way it's going to work on the companies, or the banks, I'm sorry. So you're still going to see reduced costs. I think the corporates, if you push more onto your banks, you're going to see more reduced costs in the transactions that way, more so than anything else. So you're still going to have to rely on the KYC from your banks.
Okay, so thank you. Do we take one more question? Or
yeah, we have one more question in the back.
Let's do a quick question and answer, or maybe a couple of quick ones. Fire.
Well,
Fire.
I had a question around blockchain and feasibility of future concept of data banks of trust. So when it comes into big data, which we're coming into now, who owns that data, right? So if you're a third-party service, you can actually become a data bank of trust by actually signing that data that you get as a smart contract with that third-party vendor. And so I'm just thinking, what's that feasibility?
Okay,
what do you think about that?
Pick up the important thing you said is who owns that data. And
Right.
in the case of blockchain now, there's a whole new architecture of applications that is coming on to the fore.
So if you have a big data company, right, and you're ingesting a data stream,
yes,
right, and then you want to store that data for a third-party company, then you would sign that off on the blockchain as a smart contract, essentially storing that as a data bank, right?
but now you can be the only one storing your data. There's a way where it's your data.
Right, it's or the third-party company's data or our data, right?
But
so
they may not have your data unless you sign it. It's like maybe they have it, but it's not accessible
but we're
to them.
getting data from them. So say we're getting CAD files or PDF files, and we're storing that for them, but searching the metadata on it. But we want to take that data and ensure that it's theirs, so we sign it off as a smart contract to them.
Okay.
That's, what's the feasibility?
So was a comment?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
The only thing I will add is that there's going to be a new architecture of
Right,
of applications where the data is owned by the user.
right, right.
And
okay.
it's encrypted at the user, and it stays with the user. So you as a client, I mean, like the smartphone will have data that is yours, that is encrypted, and that nobody else has. Right now, our data is in databases that are centrally located. That's why there are hacks. That's why if Target gets hacked, they have our data, but we should be owning out more of our data as well. Okay, so thanks.
So thank you all for coming. William did a great job. Really great job. I want him to be able to sign books in the back, and I want you to be able to commiserate amongst yourselves. So I think it was pretty good. I hope the feedback's good. So, thanks for coming. And if you want to sign books in the back.
Sure, I'll stay here until 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
thank
great.
you. Great,
Great job.
excellent.
Yeah. We should turn your mic off. Yeah, so